First Kings continues the history of Israel, covering about 120 years from Solomon's rise to the division of the kingdom. It begins in glory and ends in decline, showing how quickly blessing turns to judgment when God's people turn from him. So the book divides into three main sections. Chapters 1 through 11, you see the reign of Solomon. Chapters 12 through 16, you see the division of the kingdom. Chapters 17 through 22, you see the ministry of the prophet Elijah. So this opens with the aged David naming Solomon as king. Solomon asked not for riches or long life, but for wisdom. 1 Kings 3 verse 9 says, "Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad." So God grants him wisdom, wealth, and peace. Solomon builds the temple in Jerusalem, a permanent dwelling for the Lord's name, a picture of God's presence among his people. 1 Kings 8 verse 27 says, "But will God indeed dwell on the earth? And behold, the heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house that I have builded?" However, Solomon's later years reveal the danger of compromise. He marries many foreign wives, builds altars to their gods, and turns Israel toward idolatry. Because of this, God declares that the kingdom will be torn apart after his death. When Solomon dies, that happens. His son Rehoboam ignores wise counsel and increases the people's burdens. The 10 northern tribes rebel and follow Jeroboam, forming the kingdom of Israel, while the southern tribes remain under Judah. Jeroboam leads Israel deeper into sin by creating golden calves at Bethel and Dan. From this point, the two kingdoms run side by side, Judah with some good kings, Israel with none. God sends prophets to call them back. Chief among them is Elijah, who stands alone against Ahab and Jezebel. On Mount Carmel, he calls down fire from heaven to prove that the Lord is God. 1 Kings 18:39 says, "And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, 'The Lord, he is the God. The Lord, he is the God.'" So 1 Kings is a warning and a witness. You got wisdom without obedience, that leads to ruin. And power without faith leads to idolatry. Yet through failure, God preserves the line of David, keeping alive the promise of the coming king who is Jesus Christ.